Hi, it's Wasabi. Welcome back to the channel. This is not a video I expected to make, and if I was still a Wargaming community contributor, I wouldn't be allowed to publish it. Why is that? Okay. It's battle. It's got a Lemon Clan platoon in it. I've had quite a few videos from those guys, so I'm very familiar with their play style and very trustworthy people and good players. But in this particular battle, this player, the elite OG in a T100 LT, is getting blind shot by a K91 on the enemy side. Yes, it does get spotted in different places, and you can see he's taking hits from various people. This is not the issue right here, because he's spotted. You can see that technically the timer has expired on his spotting, but it doesn't mean he's unspotted at this place. But he's retreating to get out of the view range of the tanks that might be spotting him and relocating to another place. Now the issue in this particular battle is there's a K91 on the enemy side. You see there it's got a name, Tatian X. I'll show you the full playlist in a little while. That is an anonymous name, so we'll show you how to sort of work out who the player is behind that name. And there you go. A shot from a K91 on the move, unspotted, takes him out. Now, taking out is not the problem, it's that shot that's come in that has destroyed his tank. That K91 is not spotted, and there's no way that he was spotted at that particular point. There was no sixth sense that came up at any stage. Now, sometimes sixth sense doesn't come up, it can be a glitch in the game, but we've got another battle with the same player on the enemy side, and how has he been spotted? How do they know where the player is? Alright, we'll switch to the other battle and we'll show you sort of more extended version of how that's working. Alright, the next battle here, different map, slightly different platoon, but this time the player is on the same side, right in front of Elite Lucky 45, and it's taken out the Panzerwagen, the enemy light tank. Just one shot. Now, that, as you can see, that tank was spotted, so not so suspicious. But I'm going to keep an eye on what this player does. Yeah, we're not going to see every shot that he takes. Okay, there's another shot. He's taken, no kill explicitly out of there, but possibly hit that T57 heavy, but that T57 heavy wasn't spotted at that time. In fact, it's gone unspotted now. So we're just going to keep an eye on the Lucky 45, and again that's an anonymised name. Again, we'll go into the battle results after this and just show you the names, just to confirm that it's the same player. And that on the enemy side there is also the same player as in the previous battle. Now, basically this FV4005 is going to come up with over a 6k of damage. There again he fires towards a target that is not visible. Yes, there's a 60 TP and E100 showing up there, but nothing on top of the hill where that's the only target he could be shooting at from that particular direction. And again, this is not huge evidence here, but it's just to show you that he's firing at targets that aren't spotted. There you go, fires across the map, destroys an enemy 4005. So that not spotted on the map, not in render range. So this is really what this is about. Now, while we're here in this particular battle, okay, this is showing that you can get spotted in this game. He's probably spotted by the units up on the hill. So it's not about Elite not being spotted in this particular case. It's about this particular player getting shots across the map to targets that are unspotted on the map or in range of range and getting kills. Now this is a 4.5, so not that difficult getting kills if you put it in. Now he gets taken out at this point in the game. It's 4 minutes into the game, so just notice that. And we'll cut it short at this point because he's got no more influence in the game. He gets taken out, and let's go and have a look at the details and explain a bit further about this. Alright, so I've got the replays manager here. Let's go into the Karelia battle because it's the one we just last saw, and I just want to make the point that it was a very short battle from the perspective of that FV4005 player. But let's have a look at the team scores. Lucky 45. He lasted about 4.5 minutes and did nearly 7k of damage. Now what could he have done in that if he didn't get spotted and taken out? Let's have a look at that player though. Anonymized name, and the player name was Annihilator Mark 1. Now we can go and look at his record in a second, but on the enemy side, the FV4005 that he shot, also an anonymized player, this player's name, Scattershot SXS. So it's that combination of players, one on each side. Now, what's the import of that is that there's two possibilities that could happen. One is that they're just, actually three possibilities. One is that they're together but just joined in Discord, for example, and one player's telling another player where the enemy tanks are. That's not going to be so accurate, right? You can say, right, they're at A1, but if they're not visible on the mini-map and they're not lit, then it's going to be very difficult to shoot them. So let's discount that one. Second possibility is that it's a multi-boxer who has got two PCs side by side and he's running them, and you can see that this particular player has done 0 damage on the other side. So you could just have that up doing really no work. And in fact, if we look at that player's stats, distance travel 0.08, so very small amount of movement, and you could just be looking at that on the other side's minimap and working out exactly where to aim and taking that. But again, it's not going to be a very accurate shot in the sense that you don't have anything in your reticle to look at. And the third possibility, and probably the most likely one, is there is an illegal mod. This is what's been shown in Daki's video recently, and that is a mod that if you load it, or an illegal mod that if you load it into the client on two different PCs and those players with that mod are in the same battle, it communicates information between the two. So the fact that the other player on the other side has got a minimap with all his team's positions on it, it'll communicate those positions to the minimap of the player who's doing all the damage. So you can see 6.8k of damage. He's got 3 kills out of the enemy side with at least 2 or 3, actually even more of those. Apart from the Panzerwagon, which was lit, the others were all unsighted when he did the shooting. Alright, so that's one piece of evidence. Let's go and have a look at the other replay. So this is the T100LT, and again, while Elite only got shot once by the K91, it did take him out of the game. He'd already lost a fair bit of hit points, and that was just, you know, normal sort of play. But it was the fact that he was shot on the move, unspotted, back of the map by a K91 who wasn't spotted, and that's what, you know, drew his attention. So let's have a look at the battle results here and the team score. And on the enemy side, K91 getting 6k of damage and 4 kills. Let's have a look at that player. Tatiana X is the anonymized name, comes up as Annihilator Mark 1. And on the side that Elite was on, this T62A did 0 damage. Also an anonymized account comes up as Scattershot SXS. So on opposite sides, you've got Annihilator on one side and Scattershot on the other side in both games, and they're feeding data to each other to tell them where to go, but obviously in the favor of Annihilator Mark 1. All right, so look, that's pretty clear evidence of rigging one way or the other. As I said, this a few possibilities. One is the most likely, one next likely, and the other one unlikely, as I mentioned. But one way or the other, these players should be taken out of the game. Now, there was that recent announcement by Wargaming of their fair play. Daki's video came just before it. Now, I know Wargaming do ban players from time to time, and they just don't have a habit of announcing it, but they certainly don't name and shame. I don't feel any compulsion to do that, but I'd advise you not to go and torment these players in the game, message them, whatever the case is. That's not the intent of this. It's to show that two players in a game on opposite sides with information sharing between the two can influence the outcome that destroys the value of the game to other players. And that's all really trying to show here. Now, in this particular case, this player is still playing. So he wasn't caught up in the fair play ban wave, even though the replays were submitted by Elite to Wargaming. So obviously Wargaming are relying on their mechanism, and we saw from a video that Skill did that some CCs were caught up in this because obviously they've got some logic that looks at common players on each opposite sides coming up in multiple games, and that seems to be an algorithm that they're using, and they haven't caught this particular combination yet. Are they scanning the Asia server? Yeah, I think they are actually from previous results that they've had, but how effective is their algorithm? I'm not so sure, but they're definitely not paying attention to replays that are submitted in through customer support. It's a complete waste of time. So even though I was in a previous position where I would have told you that that was the right way to do it, there's no, all that stuff is happening somewhere else, and they just don't seem to care about the Asia server. Anyway, that's really the video that I wanted to make. Really, I'm not sure what to summarize it as other than this is going on. We've had previous examples where people have tried to rig 3 marks, and this particular player has 3 marked this K91 and the an FE405 in a very short space of games compared to their other tanks. I don't think this player has been in and out of clans. Probably they've worked out that he's not really the player that his stats seem to appear to be, and that's the downside. If you're really cheating yourself if you're trying to do this, yeah, you might get the marks of excellence, but it means nothing if you can't play competitively. So anyone who's contemplating doing this, you know, that's the downside for you if you're trying to do that, and also potential of being caught. All right, that's the video. I hope it means something to you. I don't really care if you like it or you don't like it. I really prefer if you comment and you provide some experience of yourselves, and if you've got equivalent replays, let me know. We can always go and have a look at them. But definitely this situation is occurring, and it's going to continue to occur, at least in some level, even though Wargaming is saying they're doing something better. All right, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Appreciate your attention to this point. Please leave a comment if you can.